Okay.
We should do like vocal warm-ups with this.
Freddie Mercury had a good one.
I'm sure he had
Yeah,
many.
what did you do?
I
that'd be
just
great.
saw a video of it, and yeah, it's just funny.
What did you do?
You should send it us, and then we'll have to practice it.
I know,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Okay. Hello and welcome to Throw It in the Cauldron. We are your hosts. I'm Kajal.
I'm Melissa.
Hello, I'm Talwynne.
And this is a podcast where we share and discuss our experiences entering and beginning occult and witchcraft practices, the reality versus expectation, and the beautiful chaos and messiness of starting this journey as full-blown adults with adult responsibilities in the modern world. And a little bit of context. The main reason we decided to start this podcast is really to share our conversations, because there is no doubt that there's so much great information out there by people who've been practicing for so long, but I feel like there's a gap where no one has really shared what it's really like starting out. Other than those, really versed practitioners who share some of their beginner stories, but I haven't seen anyway, the kind of reality of the struggle when you're a little bit older and you're like, the fuck am I doing? What am I doing? Am I just like playing make-believe? Am I just fucking crazy? I don't know. So we were just like, let's share the conversation, let's just share the struggle, but not in the sense of an echo chamber, because I think our conversations have been really helpful in sharing the struggle and then lifting each other up. So that's what this is. This is just a chaotic conversation about all this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kajal. Welcome to our TED Talk. The very unprofessional, not very scripted TED Talk.
Yeah, we just chat. We talk about whatever. But I feel like the best place to start right now, especially with this being the first episode, is that reality versus expectation. Because I could monologue about the reality versus the expectation, and the expectation versus the reality.
The expectation versus the expectation.
Oh, don't even get me started. Yeah. I mean, even just looking around my room and I'm like, the reality versus the expectation. Like, I can't even. Yeah.
I feel like there's so many memes about that too. Like if you see those memes at times, like there's some truth to it for sure. Like expectation versus reality, in the practice. Yeah.
So who wants to share their story first? No, you know what?
Do you want to talk about like the first working you ever did? Because that's like a lot about expectation versus reality, I think.
I would love to hear one of your stories about your first workings.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I think the first one ever I did was a come to me spell, and it was a candle. And when you dress a candle, you know how messy it's just messy. It looked like I've been baking cakes for like 2 hours. Like it was a mess. And the candle makes a mess. Like you see all these beautiful, like if your altar's not a mess, you're not doing it right.
That should be the motto, honestly.
Right? But it was actually surprisingly really successful. It was for selling a car, and I did some sympathetic, like getting rid of stuff while the candle was burning, and like trying to get the
Mm.
buyer to come to me, and the dude actually paid us $100 more than we asked for it. And
Oh,
we sold it when
sick.
the candle burned out. And so I was like, I can't that. I can't.
That is
Okay.
amazing. That was your first working? Oh, shit,
You
Yeah.
listen.
fucking bitch. With her goddamn magic.
Oh, that is amazing.
Oh
Okay.
man. Yeah.
Oh,
I have another one, but if you want to do a round robin, you can do a round robin, come back.
Oh, we can do that. Talwynne. Oh, my life. No, I'm gonna get into edit that.
I'm
I'm
so
gonna get
glad
into
that
edit
it's
that.
edited.
I'm just gonna get into bleep me out.
Each one of us should have a different noise. Like I'm gonna be a cow noise, you're gonna be like a chicken.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I want to be
Who's
a
the
toad,
chicken?
please.
Whoever. You could be the rooster, I don't know. Yeah.
I want to be a toad. Please
Okay,
make
toad?
me a
Talwyn's a
toad.
toad, and I'm too indecisive for these things. So if you want to, like, I can be the chicken. I'll be a chicken.
Yeah, right.
I'll lay the eggs or something. I don't know. Yeah, Talwyn, you tell us about one of your first workings.
Oh my gosh. I don't know which one I want to share first. Let's go, because I also did a baneful working as one of my very first ones.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
Fantastic.
I'm just gonna say it involved a freezer.
Okay, cool.
But so the very first one, I think the very first one was basically a money ball, but also road opening candle spell, not for myself. So the money ball was for myself. It was very easy. I basically just watched a video. I think it was from Olivia, Witch of Wanderlust, and she shared her process and approach to that money bowl, and it was pretty straightforward, and like just ingredients I already had. And so I kind of like mixed it up and then put my petitions in there and just learned a little bit about like how to write proper petitions, and then basically worked it as she constructed. I was basically using that as a template. There's a toad. As a template, and then kind of just applied that for myself in my own situation. Did not know anything about energy work, so I was just like like hopefully this works. Like, I don't know. I didn't feel shit, you know? So this is the first thing. Like, I didn't even feel anything. So it was so silly at the same time. Because, like, I was using what she was kind of suggesting. And obviously I was tweaking that a little bit with, like, stuff that I had. But it was just household ingredients that I already had. So I was using... And also, it was not a real bowl. It was literally a bigger candle holder. Because I didn't have a bowl for that. So I was just using like this candle holder kind of thing. So it's a tiny one. So I could not really, I couldn't fill it that much with like so many things, because it was already not, the container itself was already very small. So I just like shoved everything inside, and it was like, well, let me try this and be like, kind of like trying to visualize there is energy going into this rice right now. And then I was like, I don't know if that works. And so I was kind of incorporating a little bit of the folk magic practice from Frankie, Chaotic Witch Hunt. And they are basically teaching how they kind of like also speak to their ingredients and for their spell work, and basically almost like request what they should be doing. And so I was like, well, I don't know. I threw anything in there because I didn't really know what I'm doing. So I was like, okay, I'm visualizing there's energy going in. Hopefully this is doing something. And then at the same time, like, hey, Rice.
Money, lots of money.
Yeah. And I was also like, I was not really planning. It was literally of like, I watched that and I was like, let's give it a go. Not with a whole lot of planning behind. So I literally just went with my gut and my gut instinct and just kind of threw it together and tried what may be working maybe. And so I was talking to the rice, for instance, and just asked it like, hey, can you help me with this? And I want to do this money bowl. And I was like, what am I doing? I'm talking to rice.
Dude, I think it's
Like, what is this?
Yep.
I was like, oh my gosh, okay, this is so weird what I'm doing right now. So I'm like, okay, I'm talking literally to my hands, to nothing basically, because it was like, again, no energetic or anything that I can tell like it's doing something, because it was literally like, it's like a wall. I was obviously not really trained into feeling into energies or any shifts or anything. So I literally had to like dispense a little bit of all of my skepticism that I was already feeling like, this is bullshit. What are you doing right now in your room by yourself, being like a little critter of like talking to rice and like, what is this? So that's the thing, like just like taking your skepticism and like more of your adult brain a little bit to the side and kind of access some form of like inner whimsical or your inner child or something that just kind of that you can tap into this make-believe for a moment, even if it's just for that 5 minute of simple spell work or anything. So like that was the first thing where I was like, oh, I feel so weird right now.
It's awkward and uncomfortable and they're full of doubt and you're just like discrediting everything. Even if it worked, you're like, that couldn't have possibly worked. Like, even if it
It's
did, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was like, I hope my husband is not coming in, because like, what are you doing on the floor right now? What is this? So that's basically how I did it. Like I literally had I had no telling really if anything of that worked, or I mean I did because I had the petitions. But it was like not in that moment. I just didn't receive that feedback that I was hoping to get, but also like it was my first spell. I literally had no other training or any exercise to really, get that energetic feel for it. So if you're able to do that, even without any type of feedback, and just kind of have faith basically in that something's happening, it can work. Actually, it's just kind of like getting over yourself, honestly, is like the biggest thing for me, especially with a very skeptic mindset. Like that was really hard, because it is literally like, what are you doing? You're a full adult and you pay your bills and you're sitting on the floor talking to the rice right now and just hoping for the best. But it worked. Like it worked in ways I was not expecting. It worked pretty much. Like the outcome was basically all of it. I just didn't think it would come in this way. For instance, that for like the higher income would come from a promotion that I was just not expecting, for instance, and other things. So that was really cool. Like it worked. It's just like being in it and then work it and kind of hope for the best when you have literally no means of receiving feedback or anything in that moment. So that was like one of the first workings for myself. But I do have like other stuff that I did as a beginner, but yeah.
How long did that stage of like last? Because at some point you could have been like, oh, okay, I'm over it, but you have to like push through that stage to get to the stage where you're like, oh, I do feel something. I do like recognize it. How like could you remember how long that feeling ridiculous stage lasted? Like how many?
Oh, it lasted actually for a long time. I mean, it lasts like to this day, where like
Good
even
point.
now, there's just certain things where I'm still like, but it gets better. Like the skepticism to a degree, like my healthy, I want to keep my healthy skepticism. But over those 1.5 years, I was able to, where it's not really a huge obstacle that I have to overcome. Because like the first few ones was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. But also with this type of skepticism, my thing was like, the worst part is nothing's going to happen. And that's really important because the certain online forums, for instance, if I would have dug deeper into this before I did the spells that are really like, oh my gosh, this can backfire and all these things, I'm glad I didn't look into that, because then that would have probably deterred me from even starting anything and figuring something out in that regards, and just do it like on a whim, basically. And the worst part for me was really it didn't work. And that's the end of it, basically. But since they said, like, work it every week if you can, or on a regular basis, like every day would be amazing. But I went with every week on a Thursday kind of deal. And then kind of like did the either offer the bowl something in terms of like money spirit or spirit within this money bowl that works in it. But also I don't know if you heard of that, like literally like the currency that you kind of like take stuff out of it and then feed more into it, kind of like so that you keep the flow of the currency going and the money flowing in and out of your life. Like kind of like that symbolism. So I worked it. It was just like kind of strange. But I don't know, like something tactile about that. I'm a very tactile person, was really appealing to me, because I literally could like do something with it. That's what I really like about that, because I could keep doing it on a weekly and regular basis, and just see what happens. And I gave it a year, so I was like, well, if nothing happens, then maybe it's not real. But I tried it and I gave it ample time so that it can work, and it did work for me. Wildly enough.
Fair enough. I mean, I can't quite say the same, but to be fair,
it's hard.
Yeah, because I was even struggling to think of like first workings, but I do remember one of my first. I don't know how much detail I'll go. Not that there's that much detail, but the branch of practice that appealed to me the most was it and it is sex magic. And so I was reading Sacred Sex by Gabriella Herstick, and she loves her bells and whistles. I didn't have all the bells and whistles. And I remember just giving it a go with a sigil. I had a candle, I did a setup. And it was just really like underwhelming. And I felt silly, a little bit stupid. And it didn't feel like anything came out of that. I don't even remember what it was that I was, like, the intention I was working with. I don't remember. Maybe it worked out, maybe it didn't. I wouldn't know because I don't remember. But I feel like with a lot of my early workings, not that this is a bad thing, but I've always been someone with, like, when I have a bigger vision, I'm like, I want to make it all happen now. And that's just not going to happen. So in a sense, I was getting in my own way. Yeah, I don't have a lot of detail on first workings. But I have done a lot of like new moon and full moon little rituals of like bringing in and releasing. And I don't know if maybe I struggle so much with self-doubt, and this has actually been a conversation recently of like the level at which I struggle, and something that as we are recording, we're 2 days out of Mercury retrograde. And the shadow period is like, I'm here like, okay, fair enough. I've definitely felt this one. I mean, my period also was coming through the last week, and it's been a fucking shit show. And there would be all these transits, and I'm like, yeah, I don't feel it. I don't know what these people are talking about. What are they talking about? And I think I started only now to kind of recognize how astrology can show up in the mundane, because that's really where it shows up. I'm always expecting so much more. I don't know what I'm expecting. I just have such high expectations. And I want the money to fall out of the sky. Which that doesn't happen. But I'm trying to think of a working that did work. I guess the snake in the grass that we did as a group earlier on this year. I don't think it's, I don't know, I guess I'm reflecting on it now. There have been things that definitely came up throughout the year. I don't think it hit me quite as intensely, unless I want to count everything that happened with my last job, but I don't know really, because the whole situation with my last job was like, well, boss lady sold up and then a new guy took over, and that was an absolute shit show. I had to leave because it was damaging to my well-being. But there was some people, there was one person who needed to be out of my life, and all of that kind of came out shortly after I'd done the working. I don't even know if the working was finished, but I came into information where I was like, okay, this guy's a creep and I'm going to block him and delete him, and I want nothing to do with this person. What else?
I just want to interject too
Yeah.
that I think it's this expectation that you have to do spell work. And the reality is you
Yes.
don't have to do spell work. Because you still feel that way? Is you don't really, you could care less about the spell work.
Well, yeah, because I'm the one, I think, in our group who does the least spell work, because I'm just like, I don't have the time, I don't have the energy. It's effort that I can't be bothered to do. And every now and then I'll sit down and do something, and I'm there like, nah, I could do something else. I could just do it in a different way. I could just work at learning how to manipulate energy with like my energy, and that be that. It's just the tools of fun, right?
This is so cool though.
What?
I like that.
What, like manipulate? Yeah. Because and that's kind of what sex magic is though, like at the very fundamental aspect of it. Not that I know a huge amount about it, because I'm very much at the beginning of my journey in learning, but you know, if you are able to tap into that like real life force channel of energy and enter into, you know, trance state, which I'm gonna be very straight up, I am nowhere near that. Like, I struggle to feel the pleasure in stroking my own arm. Like, I've got layers to uncover. But what was I saying? That whole like, you can, people talk about the ability to be able to manipulate that sexual energy and then build it, and then basically release it with that intention in mind, or using a sigil. You know, it doesn't, you don't need all those bells and whistles. It's just that they add their own flavor to the working. And I will still engage in spell work when I'm like, right, let's just try something new. Let's just see where I'm at with it now. Most of the time I'm just like, why did I decide to do it? Because it's work. I'm already doing so much work, because a lot of my work is internal, which you know, not that that's only me, everyone, a lot of people doing these practices are doing the internal work, but I feel like that is my main thing. I'm like, it's like I am really searching to find that essence people talk about, that I can access within myself, and like be the magic, because we are the magic. And the fucking self-doubt is so hard, especially this week, even with like not with the podcast, but with my own stuff. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I even thinking about it? It's like, what where's that coming from? So yeah, I don't do a lot of spell work because I can't be bothered. Straight up, I just can't be bothered. When I do it, sometimes I wonder why I'm doing it. Because it's work, it takes up time and energy, and I'm not someone who, like, I practice Reiki, and I'm not I don't feel it very strongly. I'm starting to learn the subtleties and how I experience it, but on the whole, I'm apparently not the biggest feeler, and that frustrates me. And that frustration is also what blocks me from it. So the work to really be open, oh God, it's work. Literally the work to let myself soften and open. Because apparently I'm just bracing all the fucking time. And I'm like, no, I'm chill, it's good. But like, I catch myself, I'm like, why am I holding my breath? Why am I tense? Why am I clenching my teeth? What, like, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, in terms of workings, my work is trying to get rid of that self fucking doubt. That's what the working is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like so much in the beginning too is you have no basis, and so you're just looking at what other people's gnosis is because you have not developed any for yourself or any sets of symbols or meaning, and so it's you compare so much at the beginning, and that can be really disheartening just because you have no baseline, so you're trying to like pull in like baselines that may not even apply to you, like things like
Yeah.
stuff that I did early on that I've totally abandoned now. Like I don't really do the circle casting anymore. Like the astrologic timing, I don't, trying to pull that in, I don't do anymore. And then there's other things that weren't important at all then that are super important now, like breath is offering, and yeah, my own sets of symbolism are far more important than what other people say an herb is good for. So.
Yeah, I love how your practice has evolved since I've known you in the short amount of time as well, because yeah, that breath as offering, and um who said it, something about heat being offering as well. um
Mhm.
yeah, I mean that changes so much,
Yeah, in the
especially.
beginning, you're like, "What is that? That's not an offering. That's
Yeah,
nothing." Like, but like,
yeah,
your perspective changes on it. But
yeah.
do you have something similar, like things that you did that don't do anymore, or things that you didn't do that are really huge parts of what you do now?
So much of that.
Yeah, you're just like
Mm-hmm.
constant. Actually, I change every month.
Right?
To be fair,
Um,
I don't do full moon and new moon rituals at the moment. I'm just like, it's every 2 weeks. It's like it's too much. It's too much, because every time it comes around, I'm like, I thought I made the day free and it's not free, and there's always something on the day, even if it's last minute. I'm like, let me just not. And I was doing a lot of working with Saturn. I actually have to like officially close that because I'm currently wrapping up my Saturn return. But it just didn't, I feel like I was kind of just working with the energy through just existing and living and choosing to try and work in the right direction. So, you don't always have to stand by the altar and pray. I mean, you can pray in your heart.
oh gosh, where do I start? Because this is like a full 180 now. Because we started with like first spell work stuff. um,
We can go back there. You
which
got
is
another story?
fine.
Go back there.
No. It's totally fine. We can like we still can like go back to like the first workings and like still go from there. But since we're kind of touching on topics now of um things you thought you needed to do in the beginning versus where you're at now, even in that short amount of time of a year or 1.5 years or however long we're practicing really more intentionally now, is exactly that. So like I thought when I learned more about astrology and all these things of zodiac signs, astrology, the type of cosmic energy in that sense, but more like, yeah, astrology. I find that really interesting. I love watching other channels or people who talk about it and can read charts and the transits and what's going on right now on a collective level, on an individual level. That's amazing. I personally found now that after months and months of like trying to study that, I'm like, this is so much. It's almost like its own academic university like level of studying, which is something that I thought you can do like in a shorter amount of time. I don't know what I thought. I thought it was like, you can do this in a few months and then you're done. And I was like, no, that's not it at all. It's still like with every practice, it's a life. It's like learning for life for sure. But in my head, I was like, well, once you have the basics down, then you can go from there. And then it was totally easy, right? I was like, it's not. Because the more I started learning about astrology, like the more I just realized how deep it can go. And it's just not only like in astrology, it's not only astrology, it's Vedic astrology, it's Placidus, it's the whole house. Like there's so many other systems and traditions around that you can study as its own system by itself. And it's like, oh shoot, and then I just realized, wow, I did not really realize how deep it can get. And so that was just something that I just realized, like, I don't really know if I'm really into that anymore. So why I really love watching like other people's channels about that. Like I'm super interested in that, what they have to say about that. What's literally like going on in the stars and kind of reflected on Earth now. I just do not really plan my own practice around astrology at all, or certain constellations or anything. I find that really interesting when other people are doing that. That's why I really like watching other people's practices and what they do, because it gives me some inspiration, other ideas of how other people practice and their belief systems. But I found over the past few months that I'm just not really practicing that for myself. Like, not really. It's just so funny. It's fascinating that even though I'm not really actively looking into these things, that I am surprised, and also not surprised at the same time when things like the retrograde is happening and shit, like things are going to shit. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, there is something to it. It's like, oh yeah, okay, I am actually kind of pretty much in tune what's happening, literally how the planets are and the stars are aligning, but at the same time, I'm just not really looking actively into that, if that makes sense, because it's just something that I just realized is not really super important to my own practice, and just kind of fell off sideways for me personally. So that was something I thought like I really have to learn and really get it down and all these things, and just kind of like adhere to timing and all these things. I was like, this is so complicated for me, and I need to have it a little bit more simple for me. Like this type of planning is just something I don't want to do. I'm being honest, because I am a chaotic person at times.
That'd be fun.
And and it needs to be a little bit more flexible for me personally, which is fine for others. Like I love watching like other people when they really are like super timed and really in tune with what's happening, and then basically plan around that. I find that fascinating, because I don't do that, and I can't really do that. I need a little bit more flexibility for myself. But when others do that, it's super fascinating, because I think there is really something to certain timing of even the phases of the moon and certain planetary alignments. But I just don't really do that for myself, and I'm completely fine with not having like astrology really being a big part in my own practice, if that makes sense. I do follow more the moon phases of new and full moon, but this is just because I'm doing a very personal short meditation for myself, where I draw in the energy of the full moon and the new moon. Still can't really tell if I feel any difference. That's why this is kind of like a long-term project for me and myself. So still experimenting with this, but that's basically it. In terms of certain phases or planning around that, most of the things that I'm doing are kind of on a whim at times, or when I have that inspiration that hits, or certain things like that. It needs to be a little bit more flexible for myself, and sometimes really simple. I love elaborate rituals, and I really like the simple, even just the intention that I speak into my tea kind of approach of spell work or practice, if you want to call that. So yeah, astrology was one big thing that I'm just not following anymore that closely, because it's not really resonating with me anymore.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Because I follow astrology quite a bit, but I follow it more to just kind of, I don't know, get a bit of a flavor of what I might expect. Because I'm subscribed to the Chani app, and I work more with whole sign as far as I work with astrology, and I enjoy my readings, and I take the information she gives, and I try to use it to help me just see where these things really show up in my life, if they are at all. I also just like getting the perspective, and sometimes I'll notice things, but I'm using it more as a lens to like observe aspects of my life rather than actually working with astrology for magic, and my craft and my practice. Every now and then, which I can't remember the last time, but every now and then maybe there might be a transit happening that I'm like, well, that seems juicy, maybe I'll try and work with that. Most of the time it comes and goes, and I'm like, oh well, that didn't work out, because I'm also super chaotic, and it you know what though, I find it very interesting in terms of my birth chart and how it is reflected in me, and especially as I've had a lot of people talk about how once you go through your Saturn return, your chart can make a lot more sense, because I don't know why that is, but I'm assuming you grow into it. I don't know. You're going through so much growth up until about 30 that it kind of makes sense that, by 30, you know who the fuck you are for the most part. And if you've been doing the work, that's a whole other thing. And if you haven't been, that's a whole other thing. But like looking at like my Chiron placement in my second house, and my second house being Virgo, like I don't have the issue of not wanting to show my heart. I have the issue of organization.
Mm-hmm.
It is the bane of my fucking life, and I want someone else to do it. And my finances don't. Oh, please don't. It so hurts so much. Like, it's not
time
good.
for some money magic.
And this is the thing. I'm like, I could do money magic. I'm like, but I don't want to, because I don't want to. I am my own worst enemy most of the time. But I'm also getting better at just trusting that I'll do it when I'm ready. And that's not the same as, oh, I'm not ready yet, so I'll do it when I'm ready. It's like I'm working towards it at the pace that I'm working towards it, but I'm actually working towards it in the way that I am, which I can't go into right now because that'll just be a whole fucking episode in itself, and I don't want to like bore everyone. But you know what? I feel like with me as well, a lot of the work that I'm doing is a lot of nervous system stuff, especially with the programs that I've been working with. And as far as like the sex magic stuff goes for me, a lot of it is just showing up to a pleasure practice, just showing up and doing it with intention of being present with what is there. That is, and I'll be completely honest, I haven't done it in like a week, because last week was just I just like there was no time. I was miserable. I can't even remember what happened last week. And then by Sunday I was crying at work. So it wasn't great, and so I'm like, but that's the other thing, is that stuff like that where you're showing up for yourself, it is during those times when that's when you really need to show up.
Well, I wanted to say what you're saying, like you tried astrology and then you discarded it, and I think in the
My
beginning that can
name.
be real.
Talwynne.
Damn it. Merge.
Oh my gosh.
Talwynne. Oh my, I just gonna have to switch your name to that. You realize that I'm just gonna have to call you that all
Yeah.
the time now.
Yep.
Or Zach is just gonna
He's gonna be
just gonna
making
say the
all...
first towel and then just moves out the
Do you want to know what's funny? Because the farm animals will work, and I'm gonna plug his song "Tractor Chicks." It's just so tied in with this right now. So anyway, I'm just gonna put that there. He will
We're just
beep
gonna
us out.
record Talwyn saying her name, and every time one of us does it, it'll put it over it.
Talwyn.
Talwyn.
But like in this AI voice that just does not fit with the
Like
rest of
Siri.
the cadence. I just want to ask you, Talwyn, how
Oh man.
Sorry, I did not want to interrupt. I just realized it's okay.
I'm just trying
though.
to pull it back. But just how disheartening it is in the beginning, because you're trying a tradition and you hate it, and you try another one and you hate it, and so you can't dig in deep enough to get anywhere because you're just like, I don't want to do Goetia, I don't want to do chaos magic, I don't want to do traditional witchcraft. You're just like trying them on and passing them through, and
Swiping
so
next.
yeah, swipe right.
This is actually a great analogy, if I'm being honest. Because this is literally how it felt. I'm sorry. Were you even finished with your question? Gosh,
Yeah,
I
I'm
already
just saying,
started.
like, if you're struggling with that, you will find it, and when you do, it's an amazing feeling. So just keep looking. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
100%.
that's really true though. Like exactly, Melissa, though, because it's almost really, it does feel almost like, it's not even a joke with that analogy of like swiping left and right, because it truly feels like as if you're dating a tradition or a practice that you just had no idea what that is, and you just kind of try things out that you feel like, oh, this could be cool, or that resonates with you in that moment, and then really just encouraging you to follow that trail and just see if you practice that more, like, is that really something that resonates with you deeply? And at some point, trying it out a couple times, weeks, months, and then just see if that really is something that resonates with you long term, then yeah, great, definitely go further that route. And if you just realize after that period of time it's not really something that you're really vibing with, because it's literally something that you thought would be cool, which is like nothing wrong with that, as long as you then figure out you can discard it or you want to keep it and then go further. That's really how it feels. It's almost like late dating in a way. You want to get to know the practice. You want to get to know what it feels like to actually practice it, to do the spell work, whatever you want to do with it, and then see how it feels. Like literally like dating, being in a honeymoon, and then see, well, is it for me, or do we basically break up and part ways now? In a sense. That it really feels like that though. Yeah, so that was for me with astrology. That was for me with what else was it? I feel like I tried like several different things. It just did not really pan out how I thought it would be. Like even the moon phases, I'm not really avidly following that. It's really just now new moon and full moon, and that's basically it. Everything else is pretty flexible. So also not a chaos magician. Like I'm just a chaotic person that does nothing to do with the actual practice. in case people were wondering, I'm not really practicing chaos magic, which was another thing where I thought, oh, maybe this is something that I could follow, but I don't know. I also haven't really read the books extensively, if I'm being honest. So just transparency here. I have also not really read the books, but I'm already not really following the part that path. So I don't know. Maybe it resonates with me later. That's another thing.
Yes.
Even if it does not resonate with you now, maybe it resonates with you later. Maybe it was just early for you. And that happens. It's like with the books that we talked about, like certain books that I read early on, I just did not really have the capacity of really fully understanding what was said in these books. And now rereading these books with a little bit more understanding, I get so much out of that. Like Aidan Wachters,
Wachter.
right? Aidan Wachter's books, like Six Ways. I got so much out of that reading it a second and a third time, actually. Like, I feel like the first time reading, so much went over my head that I just didn't fully understand. And now rereading that, it just resonates with me so much more. So I'm kind of like going like now more an animistic path. It starts to really resonate with me. In the beginning, I was like, I don't know about that. Yeah, because like truly, like let's try it out. And I was like, this is so awkward. But like actually, the more I did it, it just felt more like something that just resonates with me more. So I kind of follow this and see what happens, and things like that of this nature. So y'all just gotta try it out. Whatever you find, try it out, see if it fits. If not, discard it and find the next thing. And don't give up on that.
I'm reading a book by Lee Morgan it's called The Sound of Infinity. It's about fairy faith and traditional witchcraft. And there's a line in there that reads, one can wield power to the extent that one can be changed by it. And so I think the practices that are most transformative for you are the ones that you're gonna stick with, or at least that's what I've found.
Yeah, that's making... Say that again.
One can wield power to the extent that one can be changed by it. So you're only going to be successful as a teacher in something or doing a practice as insofar as you can be transformed by it and it can change you.
Yeah.
And I remember you telling me this because I was saying, and if anyone on the internet said this or knows the woman in the reel that said this, that you can only go as deep as somebody else as you have gone with yourself. And that was in the context of like, you know, whether that be like energy work or journeying work or like doing work with clients where, you know, you're going into deep places. You can only go as deep with them as you have gone with yourself, because if you haven't reached those depths within yourself, how can you carry someone, guide someone through that process? And I think that those concepts are so powerful. All I wanted to say about that.
Because at first I thought it was just, you know, tapping into power to get what I wanted. And, you know, there's all this talk of shadow work, but realizing, you know, it's more about transformation and allowing yourself to be changed. And so just going from this really materialistic, you know, exchange happening to this transformative exchange happening as like the priority in my practice. So that.
I think that's so powerful, because I also, and that's another thing, is like, why do people approach a practice? And everyone has different reasons.
Right.
From, you know, I've reached a point in my life, this is not me, where people have reached a point in their life and they're like, is this it? And then they're finding deeper meaning, or people who are desperate for a better life and for help and support. And often those are the people who could be quite vulnerable to certain spaces, which is a whole other conversation. Because I know personally, I was one of those people who I was like, this can't be my life. And I'm still here. I'm still here in this fucking chaos that I live in. But I'm handling it
magic
better.
Works.
Yeah. This is the thing though. Like I'm sure that I've done like money spells, but I really didn't fully. I understood what they were saying, but it was also about really embodying that and really bringing it into your life. That you can't just be like light a candle, be like, bring me money. That's just not how it works. You have to work with the energy of money. And I find that very difficult. And I think that is a lot to do with my Chiron placement. But this is a work in progress and it will improve because I am choosing, as much as there's resistance, I am choosing to try. And the only thing is that I've chosen to just work a little bit more inwardly because for a couple practical reasons. In my home, like an altar setup right now has been very difficult for me. The altar setup that I did have, I mean, I'm looking at it right now and I just feel so sad because it in theory it's perfect. It's like you know what? So, and you guys know this. So my original altar is an old fireplace. I live in the UK. This building is like an old, I want to say Victorian, but I wouldn't quote me on that. I will actually have to go and fact check that. But it's an old building. I got single glazed windows. It's fucking freezing in the winter. And the heating does jack shit except take the edge off. And it's an old fireplace that's basically been like boarded up. Oh no, I don't know how to explain it, but it's blocked off, but it's still got that hole in the wall, and I painted it and everything, and it's great. And what's also great, and I can't remember, I think it was the Hearth which was talking about liminal spaces and that fireplaces are liminal spaces. So what better space? But I can't sit there for long periods of time. I can't sit cross-legged for long periods of time without my left leg going numb and getting pins and needles and my lower back starting to ache. I just, my body doesn't like it. And I've had to really accept, that's been a hard thing to accept because I've also been with the whole, like, I'm getting older, but I'm not that old. But there are things my body doesn't like, and I've really, really had to accept that. So I'm like, okay, is this a space that kind of looks nice, but isn't really being used, and it's not really an altar anymore. And my flat is so small with very limited space. And I'm very limited in what I can work with in this space. And so I'm having to completely rethink how I have an altar space that I can sit at comfortably and spend an appropriate amount of time doing a working when I do a working. So that has been another reason why I don't do spell work. It's because my body is then like screaming at me like I'm not comfortable, and you can't be in like some kind of altered state of any kind. And I already find it hard to reach an altered state of consciousness. So there are some things I've had to completely drop. So if it's one thing I've dropped out of my practice is having an altar, and I'm kind of, I can talk about this, but I'm not yet embodying it, which is my body is the temple and my heart as the altar, or my body as the temple and my yoni as the altar. Like I understand that in theory. I know this, but I haven't yet fully embodied it. But I'm like, well, what better place than to work from other than my own body, which like holds the key to the universe. And I can't remember where I was going with this. I've completely lost my thread, but
I think that's great though. Like you fake it till you make it. Like there's like in
yeah.
animism practice, you know that you have to like pretend, imagine, make believe, and you know it in your head, but the shifts at some point happens in the heart. But you have to like pretend for a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and kind of trust that it's there, like trusting that the spirit is hearing, or it's something is there, even though you cannot perceive that. It's really like almost that thing of just faith in the spirits you're calling in are there. You just have not I don't know, honed in on the skills of perceiving it in whatever capacity you can perceive it. But I think there is, I mean, if that happens for me, and trust me, I have spoken like what felt like a wall, and just kind of still went with it. Just like that regular offering practice from Jason Miller. I started that right in the beginning. Didn't feel anything for a while. I was like, no, this is bullshit. I think this is just bullshit straight up, and then stopped it. And then at some point I was like, there might be something to it though. And even though I don't get that feedback, I just have to keep going, even despite the skepticism and that I just don't receive anything, and just trust that something is there to probably perceive and receive what you're offering. That's really hard, because just that consistency, even when you're not getting anything back, that's really hard, because you want something, right? Because you want to really perceive something, you really want to receive feedback in some way, you want to know that something is there, you want that energy exchange, or however you receive that, and that can take a while. It took a long time for me, for like daily daily practices for a year, until I get like a little bit of like a swish around my head.
You're our
Like,
healthy skeptic. We love you.
Thank you. Yeah, so it is hard. It's like, it's truly, certain things just take really time and effort, honestly, like any skill of whatever you want to do, be it working out, training for something. It really feels like that mundane step of actually doing it until you understand what you're doing and perceive it in some way. So for me, that was the offering practice. Like, I just wanted to like understand what people mean by, oh, I feel the energy shift, like shifting shit. Like, what are you talking about? Exactly. And I always thought like, oh my gosh, this is, because I was always thinking like, oh, there's something to it, because so many people are like reporting so similar things in terms of what energy is or what it feels like to them. And then at the same time, I was like, oh no, this is bullshit. Like, I was always like pulled back and forth, like just this push and pull for me of, no, that there is something to it too. No, this is bullshit. No, but there is something to it. I know there's something to it, but I can't feel it. I can't perceive it. Therefore, it's bullshit. So keep working at it, even when there's really nothing, even when you're talking to the wall, because that's how it felt for me for such a long time. And there will be I don't know if it's a click, but at some point you get something though, like something, you will receive something, be it feeling or a sensation or something. There is something that gives you that switch where you understand now, oh, you're getting to that point, and that's actually really cool. Again, it took me a year to a year and a half to finally feel a little bit of like, oh, something is happening. You know, like I can't even discern that. It's just like, oh, something, I can feel something now. Don't ask me what's happening, because I still cannot discern really. Where other people are like, oh, someone is here. And I'm like, what? And I'm just like, I love that so much.
I
and
love
at the
that
same
for them.
time,
I
like,
love that for them. Yes.
Exactly. I was like, oh, and at the same time, I want to be there, but it's also like I'm really just so happy and proud after 1.5 years that I feel a little bit of like, I can light a candle, have that intention there, and then I feel something swirling around, like something in this vicinity. And I was like, okay, it's working. Like something is working. I don't know what is working really, but like at least I feel like now something is working, because I feel a little bit of a tingle here, you know. And this is kind of like the ratio that I was working with. So if someone who is deeply skeptical, like myself, if I can get to this point, I'm very confident that others can get to a similar point for sure. It's just how much work you want to put in, how much effort do you want to put in, and just be kind of just prepare that it can take a long time for what seems to be very little reward. But I love it. Like this little bit of reward just gave me the confidence that, okay, there's something to it. Like now I do believe in energy because I now really receive it. And before that, it was like, let's pretend there is energy swirling around, even though I don't perceive shit. So that's just, I don't want to scare people away from that. I just want to like give a realistic expectation of like what it can look like. It would be great if that works faster for others, but sometimes it's just going to be a very long process depending on like on the person, honestly, and how sensitive you are and how open you are to these concepts, for sure.
Well, I can also really vouch for that because God, when did I? So I've been like actively practicing for over a year. So it was like March last year. So March. Wait, hold on. Yeah, March 2024 is really kind of when I started being a bit more active in my practice. I was engaging in aspects of spiritual practice before that. Not that well. We'll go into that in another episode, but like I hadn't been super active in a practice for that long. So if we go with like kind of witchy stuff from March last year, one, I don't really feel energy. I'm still learning how I experience the subtle energy, and that's the thing. Like if we're talking about energy, it can like energy could mean anything, right? And I think that is where some people could possibly get confused, and I've kind of been learning it's about the subtlety, subtle energy, subtle body energy, or the energy in the subtle body, and then the subtle energy of the spirit external to you, and how you perceive spirit. So you know, everyone's going to perceive differently. Everyone's got different strengths in their clairs, and then you're also going to be probably battling with skepticism and self-doubt, and those things are just like water on a fire. Yeah. And for all this time and practicing Reiki since last October, I mean when I do the Reiki shares and she does Reiju for all of us, it's only then when I'm like in Gasho that I'll feel like a sudden heat in my hands. Otherwise I just don't, but otherwise I don't really feel much at all when I'm practicing on myself, which I need to do more often, I'll be honest. When I'm practicing on others, I just don't really feel much. But I'm just within the last month or so, I've just been, I don't know, maybe I've just been softening a little bit and just being like, well, if I feel it, I feel it. If I don't, I don't. It really doesn't matter. Because I did a Reiki share last Wednesday. I just thought, let me do it because I was doing a distance treatment the next day, and I just thought, let me jump on this Reiki share because she does it online as well, and she did Reiju. And here's the thing, I'm not sure whether I felt the Reiju when my whole body got hot, because I was wearing my big fluffy thing because I was cold, and then we went into meditation. I was feeling warm and I was like, I really should have taken this off, and then at one point I just got so hot, I was like, I just need to take this off. And then shortly after that, like the Reiju was over, and I was like, I have no idea if the heat was that or if that was just me. And then when it was my turn to share, I did not feel a thing. But as per my teacher she's just like, I just want to stay around your head. I was like, well, nothing's different there. It's all still going on up here. It's always in my head. I didn't feel anything. I was relaxed. I was chill for a change. But I didn't feel much, and I was just like, okay, whatever. But then when I did the distance treatment the next day, I didn't feel like tangibly a huge amount. I do know some of the conditions that this friend of mine is experiencing. And so I'm also trying to separate myself from like where I feel I should go and where Reiki wants to go. Because at the end of the day, I'm not doing anything. Reiki's doing all of it. I'm just here enjoying the ride. And I got 2 visuals, which I'm not going to share because this is part of her treatment, her session. But I got these 2 visuals that just came and went, and I was like, okay. And this friend of mine is a very visual person, big on visualization, and I think fairly clairaudient with that really strong sense of visualization, being able to just create these worlds in her mind. And in the feedback, I was like, yeah, okay. So the feedback's irrelevant, but what my teacher was saying is that in at least with Reiki, when you're practicing, when you're working a session with someone, you can pick up on their clairs. And so, like, my teacher is very clair. I don't know if it's sentient or tangent, but she's a big feeler. She's like a Scorpio sun, very big feeler, and very, very clairaudient. But if she's working on people who are very clairvoyant or have a stronger sense of their visual, she'll get visuals. So I was like, okay. So I was just like, okay, I'll note that. And what's interesting is that, like, anytime I have noticed kind of signs or like happenings in my I can't find the right words for this, but like you're picking up on the things, the subtleties. I don't get like, oh my god, like I felt it, like oh my god. It's not like that. It's like, oh okay, I see that. Oh okay, I see that too. And I think the biggest one for me is one that happened recently, which I shared. I'm sure I shared with you guys like so many times already, but I'm going to share it for the sake of this podcast. Is that I think it was 2 weeks ago, and I'm lying in bed, and I've been struggling with a bit of insomnia recently, and I was just like, right, I've just got to show myself some compassion right now, because otherwise I'm going to be getting mad. And I laid there, and I was just like, hand on heart, hand on belly, just like telling myself I love you, but really not just saying the words, like like doing a little bit of the work of, well, how does that really feel when I say that to myself? Can I feel it from myself to myself? And then I'm just kind of sleepy, and but not super sleepy. I'm conscious enough, and I just kind of hear it back. As crazy as that sounds, I hear it back in what sounds like my voice, but I didn't feel like I said it in that moment in my mind. Like it was in my voice through my thoughts, but wasn't my active like inner voice. And it sounded like me, but like the rooted, grounded, like from the womb, like from the root, like the great mother, as Lucy Lampy is always talking about. And I was like, okay, I'm seen, I'm heard, I'm recognized. And it was just a really nice experience. Really subtle, really gentle, reassuring in that moment. But this is recent, like this again, it's been like a year and a half of getting to this point, and that is not a regular recurrence. That is like, oh okay, so like I'm doing the work, and it shows in like split moments of like, yeah, but keep going.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, this is fantastic. Again, it sounds so weird to say that so much work is poured into like this little moment all of a sudden. But it's great. It's like it's such a huge milestone of like, because I remember you said like you cannot feel anything at all, not even the experiments of just like the palms of your hands or all that, because like I can feel that magnetism, like kind of sensation of like almost like two magnets that I'm just kind of like pulling. I can even feel it now. So this is like actually a very common thing. You could not even feel that before. Now feeling a certain type of heat or sensation now is fantastic, and it sounds so dumb because it's so small and sounds really insignificant, but it's so significant for ourselves because of the comparison of ourselves, our own skill set before and after. Now we have that almost tangible result because of that, and it's huge. It's really huge. Which again, outside of context, sounds delulu. But yeah, I love that. That is awesome. And I honestly, when you describe the session, first off, I have no clue what Reiji is. Was it Reiji?
Reiju is like the blessing that the teacher gives you when they're like attuning you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you for that context.
Yeah.
No, because I do believe that even during the session, when you feel a difference from before the session and after session, that means something worked. Well, even if you're not having the sensation during, because you had that heat feeling, even though you were not moving your body, but you had that heat sensation. That was happening. What usually happens with me when I have a Reiki session, like I literally like I get red cheeks. I truly blush and I feel hot. And like, okay, that means to me something's happening, even though I don't feel it during, but you can tell the difference of a before and after session. So that to me is like, that's evidence enough for me. Like, it's just the things that we have to work with what we got in that moment, for sure. That's so good.
Yeah, proud of you. That's huge.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and the feedback was really good from the session that I did. She got a lot of clicks and cracks, and I was like, cool. Well, Reiki's obviously doing its job.
Sounds healthy.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so I was happy with that.
A little milestone.
Yeah.
I have another like Talwynne had talked about this, and you said it so eloquently, but it was another expectation versus the reality of what happens, that when you first start out, you think you're just going to call in spirits and they're just going to wreck house. But then what actually happens is that you have this greater sense of autonomy and sovereignty and control. You had talked about it, Talwyn, and I thought, I don't know, you said it so well. But that was something that kind of changed too for me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, because a lot of people are so afraid of doing it.
What, talking to spirit?
And even starting it. Yeah, or just in general, like just starting out with something like energy work or working with spirit, or I don't know, like just the fear of even just starting with something it seems to be very ingrained. Right now, I don't know where this is really coming from. This type of fear mongering online, for sure. But yeah, it's wait, I don't know even. I don't.
It's okay if you don't remember, but I just yeah, it was just like you had talked about it once, just how much working some of this stuff just gave you more direction. See, here I'm putting words in your mouth. Gives me more direction and sovereignty, and like makes me think about the choices I'm actually making. And so, because at first you think that you're turning over all this. I don't know. I mean, I thought I was turning over power, like trying to get these things to come in and do the thing for me. But what in reality is happening is I was showing up better for myself. to do the things that I wanted to do. Does that make
Oh,
sense?
yeah,
Anyway.
that's how it, for me at least. Yeah, it truly just culminates into like, from that belief, like with Christian religion, for instance, like putting it to Jesus, or putting it out for God to intervene.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Jesus, take the wheel. Which is so hilarious. Which, like, I mean, I used to kind of do that with the universe of like, hey, universe,
Yeah, exactly.
do it for me, please.
Help me out.
And it's like, I mean, there's something to it sometimes where, like, truly I'm like, I mean, I haven't done that in forever, but sometimes it was like just having that off my chest and be like, just having the faith of like, it's something divine that kind of works in its way for me. But I have not really done that in a while. So this practice for me personally has really given me much more authority or sovereignty for myself. Because, like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's truly, as you said, Melissa, like, it gives me more purpose and intention of the next action that I'm going to take.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really interesting how it started with like a spell of Moneyball or that road opener to like, oh no, I now have to really carefully plan certain things out. I really have to be more intentional what I write down. I am more intentional, or I have to think more about basically the consequence of my present action. How does it look tomorrow when I do this today? In a sense, if that makes sense. And it has me personally rooted so much more in the physical, to be more involved in what's going on in the world and what's going on in my private life. That
Which is
I don't
opposite
know,
of what you'd think in,
yeah.
like, witchcraft practice.
Pretty much.
You're in the weeds,
Yeah,
man.
exactly. Yeah, it really, it kicked my butt into gear of like, oh no, I cannot sit here and wait for a savior to just solve all the problems for me. Like, it gives me the tools so that I am better to solve my problems.
Mm-hmm.
And to deal with this myself. It gives me the tools. It's not there to do it for me, but it really supports me in helping myself to do these things and solve that. That's for me, that sovereignty that it gave it for me, my own agency. Hey, Kate.
Yes.
That's a whole different discussion, but she was definitely a huge part of that. It's not her alone, obviously, but she definitely has, like, I don't know, opened up something for me that truly now I can see, oh, I understand why people are working, for instance, with dark feminine energy, the dark goddess energy. It doesn't even have to be Hecate herself, but like a form of spirit. There's a different, I don't know, there's something to it. I can't even describe it unless you start working yourself with this. But it does do something, like something changes within you that makes things more possible that you thought were never possible before. And that's really cool. Like, that's why I kind of do it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, also I wanted to I'm kind of like trying to find a way now to create and craft a practice for me where I really have to kick certain bad habits and turn it into habits of certain things that I want to create and really build on. That's where I'm at right now, at least. Like, kind of like going from the basics, deepening the basics, really get into the foundation again, into the fundamentals, and kind of craft something in terms of revisiting what were my dreams back then, what did I actually want to do now that I basically am free to do whatever in a way, and really do the things that scare me. That will kind of show it, for me personally at least, like how much more merit is to witchcraft or the occult practice for me, because that would really show certain things that I am super scared of doing, and maybe I will be able to build on that, what I always wanted to do, but I was too chicken shit to really do anything about it. So this is why I do it.
I love that so much. I could tell you one more. I think I told you this story. One more like spell story from early on,
Oh
if you
yeah,
want to hear it.
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
really do.
Um,
Yes.
so I was going to do like an initiation, right? Like, okay, I'm gonna do the witchcraft initiation, and so I was gonna do, stay up till midnight, do the like all the things, do the circle. I like dressed up, like played the part. I was like gonna be into it, right? Like we're gonna cosplay, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this initiation, right? So I go earlier in the day and I set stuff up because it's kind of in like the back part of my yard, and so that I can go there in the middle of the night with whatever I need. And it was just so messy, like logistically, like the wind was blowing, so the candles were blowing out. I'm in the dirt, so everything's dirty, and I'm like having to constantly look at my notes, but then like I've got a flashlight. Like it is just like, and the funniest part is I own goats, and I'm walking past their pen to get back there. I know they are there. I feed them every day. But they come running up the fence line, and I almost had a heart attack because I just hear these like like hoofbeats, like because I'm going at midnight in the dark in the middle of winter to go like do this initiation, right, and like something's coming for me, and I just like, oh my gosh. Anyway, so you just get in your own head, but
That stuff
that
is
was one of
scary
it
though.
In
was
the
one
Like
of
middle
my
of
everything in the
winter.
darkness is getting scary. And yeah, in the middle like of nowhere, and it's dark. You can't see shit even though you have animals. Why
it
are
was
they doing this
so
now?
funny. Yeah, so
In
that's
that
like
moment.
what's your first initiation rate's gonna be like, just so you have perspective there.
Oh my gosh, it's so true though, because this is what happened with my first candle spell. Because, as you said, it looks so pretty online. It's so polished. It's beautiful. It's already set up, but they don't really show you that much how they get there. So I just had to figure it out the hard way for myself. I had the candle ready, so that was just a road opening spell with candle and some dirt for someone else, which worked as well. I'm shocked that this worked, honestly, because I did not know what to expect from this. Again, no experience before that. But I had a beautiful orange beeswax candle. So it's like perfect because the color correspondence, which I learned from videos. And then using basically dirt from a three-way crossroads. I'm like, you've seen the crossroads here in Texas, they're all poured concrete. What dirt are you talking about? So I was like, I don't even know where to go because all of the three-way roads are what dirt? It's all concrete and then a little bit of powdery sand on the side. Like I don't know what dirt you want to collect. And so what I did was, and that was scary for me as well. And then I went to, back then in Texas, we were living in a suburb, and it went like out of that main road of that little area into the main road. So it was literally like a three-way road. And luckily there was like a flower bed in the middle of that. And so I'm like, I'm going to collect the mulch off of this, I guess. Like, it's close enough.
I mean, you're not
that's
wrong.
This was the only dirt. That was the only dirt I can find, and it was not even dirt. It was like the covering mulch on those plants that they have to kind of just protect from sun and heat. And so I was like, this is not really dirt. It's just mulch. Like I grabbed a pack of mulch. I'm like, there you go. I'm like, thank you. I guess I'll take you now. And then went home with that. And then I had just this bag of dirt just hanging out in my office. And I was like, I hope no one is asking questions about this. I just put it behind some books to just kind of like hide it a little bit. I had the candle ready. Then I definitely used some herbs or something corresponding to that. and I had some oil ready. But then when it came to actually sitting down and doing it, it was like, there was also a time of like, oh, I guess I'm supposed to do circle casting. So I cast a circle. And I learned from Hearth Witch, it was so funny that apparently if you forget something, you kind of like, because you're kind of like in a bubble, if you imagine it this way, then you kind of like cut it out. And when you, to leave the circle and then come back so that you don't have to do and undo it again. It's, oh God. I forgot so many things in between that I had to like stand up and actually actively get it into the space. And so, and I did it at my friend's place. And so I just like, I forgot something and just cut a door. And I was like, what are you doing? And symbolically just open and close it again. And then like all of these weird things, like, oh, I'm so glad no one's really watching this. And then no one prepares you how messy this is. The dirt was everywhere. It was so powdery. And like just laying out the weird three-way lay thing, like, I don't know, imitating like a road leading up to it. So it opens the road, and like the messiness of oil alone that you have, like, I had oil on my hand. I had literally dirt on my hand, and it just like constantly had to like wash it off somehow. And then I was like, oh, you just sprinkle a little bit of oil and then the herbs on it and then roll in it. I was like, it looks so bad. Don't get me started on the cinnamon. and then just like sprinkle some cinnamon on top, and the shit just flows everywhere. It's like, oh my God, this is a nightmare. This is a nightmare to work with. It's just the messiness of it all. Like, I cannot emphasize enough how messy it really gets. Like, scratch all of the beautiful pictures and videos online they're beautiful. I love the setup. It's so pretty. That's not how it's gonna look like most of the time, though. So don't expect this necessarily. It's going to be really messy. Always have paper towels with you, or something where you can just wipe your hands with, honestly, and close everything. Close everything. Like, if you use it, don't leave it open, because you will bump into it and it will spill. So just be prepared for this. Yeah, it's messy. It's super messy. It was a lot of fun, but it's so messy. And somehow it worked. It worked, which was insane. But yeah, it was messy.
How? Honestly, you two piss me off. I swear to God. Because I've got a story. Oh, I've got a story for you. I mean,
it's because Melissa has goats. They're magical.
I guess it's because I live in a moldy flat.
Yeah. Fake it till you make it.
Well, I've got two things about spell work, right? One is just reiterating how much I hate doing spell work. That I told you both about 2 months ago I was going to do that uncrossing, and I have everything I need. I still haven't done it. I've even got the candle I'm going to use at the house blessing and house blessing order. I still haven't done it. But a working that I did, there's like not even that much to this story, but it really just goes to show the kind of person that I am. And also that my boyfriend, my wonderful partner, is such a good sport. I hope you can hear me in the other room. He's such a good sport. Because he'll get involved. In the beginning, he's just like, okay. And then, because we just talk all the time, like, he's like, okay, I'm invested in your journey. To the point that, like, every now and then he'd get involved with, like, a little moon ritual and, like, write his thing and burn it, and it was so cute. It was just cute to kind of see him, like, be involved and, like, support me in that way and be like, I've got something cute. I want to release. I'm like, yeah, well, let's do it together. And so, Well, it was for New Year's Eve. We'd been talking about like doing a little ritual, like a spell ritual, and putting it together and getting all the ingredients. And like I said in the beginning, I like to want to call everything in. But I was like, it's a New Year thing, so why not? And it's two of us, so that's two sets of energy to call in for both of us, for us to just be abundant and whatnot. There is such thing as too much. You don't need a candle, a different color candle for every single thing that you want to call in. I think there's about 8 candles
In your little flat.
in my little flat on my wonderful spell plate
That
that I
it
got
didn't
from
catch fire is a miracle.
well, there was a point where he shouted at me because my arse nearly caught on fire. He was like, Kajal! I was like, what? He was like, your arse? I was like, what about it's like the flame? And I was like, oh shit. And it was a very stressful experience. I do not recommend. You can use
Maybe
one
don't
candle.
use 8 candles.
You can use one big fat candle. I just wanted it to all be, because they were the little beeswax ones. I was like, they'll be done by the end of the night. I should just like it was
Hilarious.
yeah. So I was the one who nearly went up in flames. Not my flat. Me. And it just wasn't what I wanted it to be.
This is awesome.
It was yeah, there was this shit everywhere. There was like fucking dried stuff everywhere. There was oil everywhere. It was just, I was like, I'm not doing this again. I didn't light a candle for a ritual for months. I was like, I can't be fucked.
Honestly, 8 candles is fine. You just need to you just have to do fire safety.
Yeah. Do some basic fire safety. The thing is, I have, because I've like done training for like pubs and stuff, but like
this is funny.
Yeah, sometimes you got to learn the lesson in the hard way. So I had my boyfriend shout at me in the middle of a ritual, be like, "Babe, you're fire."
I just find that picture so funny. If there was spirits there, it's like,
they'd just be looking at me like, what the fuck is this bitch doing? Like, she needs to sort her life out, because that's not gonna work.
I was like, wait, we have to support her ass? Like, what did she do?
Oh
my gosh.
That's my favorite one.
Probably
of the
not
whole...
how this works. But that's hilarious. Oh my gosh.
Kajal nearly caught herself on fire for New Year's Eve 2024 with her boyfriend.
Yeah, mad props. No spell work, no altar. That's,
Yeah, it's probably a good thing. I light one candle in the corner of the room, and I'm like, it is activated. That's it.
You get like an LED one with the battery.
But I obviously haven't learned my lesson because I love fire. I'll still light a candle. I'm just a bit much more responsible with it. I use fireproof dishes. I'm just a lot more sensible than I was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I honestly am not even using that many ingredients anymore as I thought I needed. This is probably another thing that I realized over the 1.5 years for myself, is that even if there's like 1,000 correspondences for your spell work, I don't know. I'm just really doing almost bare minimum for myself, and like only the things that I really have at this point. And really just have a few things, and that's basically it for me. Because I used to like load it up, because like you also see that in pictures and in videos online where like literally some of the candles are so insanely, I don't know if you've seen those, they even, some of them like even drip the herbs on it, and then it's that massive candle with like so much stuff around
Fire
it,
hazard.
which I'm like,
Fire hazard.
fire
Yes,
hazard.
By
a
the way,
fire hazard.
On
I
top
agree.
of that, so it's just like, wow, this is a lot that they loaded this candle with. So yeah, fire hazard, one thing, like you always have to have something with you while it's burning, because oh my gosh, that thing is going to catch fire and probably catching anything else around it, like with fire as well. And so I've been really sparse with like so many of the correspondences, because like I just use a few things that I have around, and that's pretty much it for now. I do not really have the I don't really have the need for loading up a candle spell with like so much shit on top of it. But that's just me. Maybe, I don't know, less is more for me right now. That might
Same.
change, but it's really like I'm not really loading my candles up that much.
There is a if we can find it to link in the description. There's a one of Frankie's chaotic witch hunts videos. I can't remember which one it is. I don't know if I'll find
Love
it,
them.
but she talks about a situation with a candle that she dressed.
Because that's Frankie for you. I
Yeah.
love them so much.
Yeah.
I love watching their videos.
I would like to find that video. I'm not sure if I will find it in time of this release, but but like it's on their channel, and I'm sure if you go through the archives you will find it. She does talk about the mess that was, and I was like, that's a good lesson. Then I had to learn it the hard way still. So every witch will tell you about a very, very dodgy situation that involves a candle and fire.
My favorite way to do them now is to load, like you carve out the bottom and you put your herbs in there and you cover back with wax. So that way it
That's
like
cool.
contains it. It's not on the candle to create the fire hazard, but it's still like in the proximity of the
Yeah, it
candle.
reduces risk to some extent. That's actually, I'm
I
gonna
like
keep
that
that note. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just sprinkling them around a plate.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really touching a whole lot the candle itself. It's still like in a ring. It's just rounding it. I don't really put it on the candles that much anymore, other than maybe oil and maybe some powdery, if it's cinnamon or something, and that's basically it. Yeah, fire safety first before
Always
anything,
have like a jug of
honestly.
water on the side to just, it doesn't matter if you break your computer, as long as you're not like setting your house on fire, you'll be all right. You know,
Pretty much.
it's better if it costs you 500 quid than like $5,000. So yeah.
I started, absolutely, yeah. I started, I don't know, because I'm probably, because of that elemental kick that I'm in right now, like just working or trying to incorporate as many of like the 4 elements as possible. The latest candle spell that I'm doing, it's so simple, because like I just have the candle, maybe some herbs that I want to have the correspondence with, but again, it's just very basic and simple. And then you have the element of fire. Then I have an incense that has that correspondence of whatever I want to do with it. And then I started just like swirling the incense around that candle to like incorporate air element with it as well, and just kind of amplify that. Obviously, earth is like the base material that you're already using, be it like an herb. If you want to use a crystal, fine. My candle holder is a crystal itself already, so I was using that. And then I was using just water that I basically have a desert rose or rose of Jericho. It's not the real one. It's like the other kind that's not the true one from, I think, Middle East. And basically use that because it had something in terms of like resurrecting something, rejuvenating something, like in that sense. So that just made sense. And so I was using that water from that Jericho rose and just kind of sprinkled that on top of the candle as well to incorporate like the water element to it. That's it. Like I'm playing around with this right now, and it's a lot of fun. So this is just how simple it can get. Honestly, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really like that. So I'm playing more with incorporating more of elements into this, like literally the elements.
The thought on simplifying too. I saw this comic once, don't know, can't give credit, have no idea where I saw it, but it was like the stages of witchcraft being like, at first you're like doing all the things with all the toys and all, just like going full out,
Yes.
and then the next step is like, what do I have in my pocket? A paper clip and a set of keys, and I'll do it with that. And then the last one is like, I'm just gonna tell them to go away because I don't. It's not worth my time to
I
do.
thought that is so good.
You tell them to fuck off. It's
Yeah,
not worth my time to
it's
do. It's
so
probably great.
good. I do like the MacGyver style almost of like, what do you have and what can you build with that almost? That's really cool. But yeah, like, it's like, fuck off, you know?
Like, it's not worth my time.
This is hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, you know me. You two know me that in the last 18 months or however fucking long it's been, I have been constantly like, how can I make my practice simpler? How can I make it more simpler? Because I was always trying to add something. I was always trying to do too much. And that's been kind of a theme in my life. Is just like a very quick overview. I practiced transcendental meditation. That was the first practice I formally learned. And I learned that because I read the book Transcendence by Dr. Norman E. Rosenthal. And I was like, I need something like this in my life because I was also suffering from burnout and just burnout. I was so burnt out. And I learned that in November 2023, and then Reiki in 2024 October, and now I'm Reiki 2, but I'm not yet professionally trained. Like I've not yet done my full professional. But I was like, I want to do all these things. But transcendental meditation is basically like 40 minutes a day. It's 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the afternoon. And that's not a lot, but it does become a lot when you're trying to add loads of other things. And then I'm trying to do 2 moon rituals a month, and I'm trying to like do a pleasure practice, and I'm trying to do other rituals, and I tried to do a money bowl, and I wasn't ready for that concept of constantly working with it. I just wasn't ready. I don't even feel like now I know that I'm not ready for that kind of physical commitment. It's just something I can't get myself to do. Like I did recently, Jason Miller's controversial Jupiter spell for something very specific, and it was a ball ache. I really didn't enjoy doing it. I was just like, I don't want to do this, but I need this right now because this thing that I wanted was really important to me. And so basically up until about 6 weeks ago, the less I could do in my practice, the better for me. And that had been the case for about a year. Everywhere where I could shave it off and really bring it to bare bones, that was my practice. So for like a solid year now, it's been like bare bones, Reiki and my transcendental meditation with the occasional working in between. And it's throughout the last 18 months or however long it's been, I've had a pleasure practice that's kind of weaved in and out. I've picked it up, I've dropped it. I would pick it up for about 2 to 3 weeks and then just kind of lose momentum. And I will be honest, even though I haven't been practicing in the last week, I'm it's not, I'm still doing a lot of work in that area in other ways. But it's literally only now within the last 6 weeks that my practice has really expanded, where I've added more things because I've built the capacity, and I was like, yeah, I was like, this is it. I do my meditation. I fit in my Reiki. I do my pleasure practice, but I have to really discern. Okay, well, what feels right for me today in my pleasure practice? Is it self-forgiveness? Is it de-armoring? Is it like like breast massage? Like what is it? Is it literally just movement and visualization? And I have to really show up for myself and be like, what do I have the capacity to do today? And I still have to open myself up to allowing, literally lying and doing meditation and a pleasure visualization, to allowing that to be the practice, because I have this feeling of like, well, it's not enough, it needs to be more. And it's really a training I'm putting myself through to discern and be honest with myself. But in the last week I gave myself some slack, because I was also I'm also doing Lucy Lampe's Temple of Lilith, and so this is not the first time, but this to me feels like the first time I'm really working with deity, and deity that I feel that I truly resonate with, not doing it just because I'm like, well, this relates to this thing, therefore I will do it, like how I did with Saturn. I just kind of had to allow myself to be like, well, I'm going through my Saturn return and I'm choosing to show up, so that's going to have to be enough. Otherwise, I'm doing something that feels pointless. And this whole thing with Lilith, I mean, I love the concept of the dark feminine. I think it's so powerful, and there's so much reclamation in it. And I will leave the rest of that conversation for another day, but this work that I've been doing in the Temple of Lilith with Lucy Lampe, it's also time consuming, and so I really had to discern. So it's not like I didn't do my pleasure practice last week, because I did a the assignment for the week was 3 times in the week we had to do the same kind of practice that we did in the Monday session. And it was about expanding and stretching the nervous system capacity with like a very kind of simple breath work, but it really, you're doing it for a certain amount of time, and you start to notice where you're like, oh my God, do I have to do this for longer? And I did it for like a solid hour. And that's a long time. That's a fucking long time.
It's a
long time. Yeah, it's a long time. So when we did it for about 45 minutes, I think, in the live session, when I did it on my own, the 1 out of 3 on my own, I followed the session from the recording, and then for the following 2 sessions, I used my own playlist. The playlist was about 1 hour and 16, and I definitely got in a solid hour, but it was 3 times in the week. So I gave myself that slack of like, that's a lot. Let me also not overload my nervous system by trying to fit in everything, because this is not a checklist. Yeah. This is about me showing up, not ticking boxes. So that in itself has been a lot of work for me to not feel guilty, because I said, the audience doesn't necessarily know that, like, every time I've picked up my pleasure practice, it's always about 3 weeks in that I really kind of start feeling the clicking, the clicking, as in like I've built a new neural pathway and I feel more desire, and I'm just feeling more sensual. And then I would drop about that point, but I've been able to kind of keep it going and also be present with all the other shit that's been coming up. So yeah, can't remember how I got here, but
it was fantastic. It was
thank you.
I love that so much, because I have a feeling that Saturn had a lot to do with this.
Well, he is the disciplinary daddy, and he brings structure and discipline and that energy into your life, and he brings limitations, but I believe also shows you where your limitations are and how to work within your limitations, because this idea of Saturn return kind of bringing your sense of your mortality to the forefront of like that whole thing. people don't want to reach their 30s for a reason. And I mean, that's very much a capitalistic patriarchal thing, which is a whole other conversation. But you're recognizing that you're not going to be fucking 20 forever. You're not going to just be able to like get pissed and wake up without a hangover. You can't just go partying or, you know, all that stuff.
I like that's the first thing that goes.
Yeah, literally. I'm just like,
what do you mean? I'm still out every night, raving every night.
I'm in bed at 9:30 and I'm still unable to sleep.
Yeah.
I never put my pajamas off. Joke's on you. It's actually really interesting because I've read and seen people who wanted to kind of do either practice overhaul or understand when they want to simplify their practice because they've put on too much. I've seen that with a lot of people that they turn to Saturn and like them working with Saturn energy has helped them simplify their practice to the bare bones that they really need in that moment. So it's pretty much just cutting away the unnecessary shit, basically, for them, it seems, in their practice. That's really interesting. So I don't know if that's true, but it sounds like working with Saturn has been like really working well in that
This
regards.
is the thing, is that, you know, even when I stopped the kind of physical practice I was doing with Saturn, he was never out of my mind. It's always been with me because I'm like, well, I'm moving through the transit, therefore it's with me. I mean, this has inspired me to just kind of do a candle with him and thank him for everything. And like, even though I'm not doing this physical practice, I'm with this process until the end. Because another thing I didn't mention is that because of Saturn, I just went sober for my Saturn return. I was already in my Saturn return, and I was just like researching it, and they said something about, you know, with the Pisces placement and escapism and addiction and stuff, like all of that stuff, just that which is related to that placement. I was like, I felt that immediate resistance, like I don't want to stop. I was like, oh, okay. I guess that resistance is telling me something. And then next thing you know, what it was like 2 weeks later, I was like, right, cool, I'm done. I'm stopping until it's over. And I don't think I would have been able to do that without my transcendental meditation practice, because that was what helped me get off of my antidepressants, because it had reached time. I was ready, and I did that under, you know, with guidance of a doctor, like with support. I didn't just come off my medication. I was very sensible. I weaned off. It was a whole process. I was supported through the process, and then it was over. And then I was like, cool. And I think that helped also. I came off the medication, and then I was like, well, I reached that point. I was like, well, I can't just carry on with my bad habits. So I stopped. But I'd already built...
Saturn is fantastic for that.
I'd already built the discipline, and then I was working with a god planet of discipline, a cosmic being of discipline. So, yeah, that was a whole thing.
God, I need that big daddy energy right now, honestly.
Yeah, he did. He'll tell you what to do and how to do it.
Yeah, I'm seriously contemplating on getting that relationship going as well. I started a little bit with Jupiter, homeboy up there somewhere.
Currently in retrograde.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still working it. It doesn't matter if it's retrograde or not. Like, it's just like keep going for sure. I feel like, especially during retrograde, just do what you keep doing. In whatever capacity you can do it. No, and I personally love that some sort of regularity, even if it's just once a week, a specific thing that I'm doing. And it's so simple. It's a blue candle. I'm doing an invocation. That's it. It's so simple. It's like, I don't know, you can't get any simpler. And if I want to do more elaborate stuff around that, I can build on it. But like for me as well, like if it's simple, the threshold for me to do it is lower, and anything that's lower that does not take me too much energy to overcome a certain resistance to it, then I'm like, no, I can do it because it literally takes less than 5 minutes, and then I'm good. Like, and then I've done it, and I feel better afterwards, anyways, because I know I'm just feeling better after. I don't know. This is just probably like the work that you put into having like something more regular, which is really nice. I feel better for it. Some people don't need a regular practice. I need it because otherwise I will just not do it.
No, I agree. Yeah, I vouch for a regular practice all the way.
Yeah.
Personally.
Ooh, Saturn, you're next. Because I think I could use some more channeling in a very specific way through Saturn, because I do have a lot of ideas in terms of like we're talking about expansion, all that stuff. Like it's so many things that are like happening internally at the same time. I was like, ooh, what should I do exactly? That's where like I feel like I need that Saturn energy to kind of channel that and focus it more.
Yeah.
So I might pick your brain.
Yeah, you can
on Saturn stuff later.
We can have a chat.
Yeah.
I feel like we have covered so much bases that we should probably save some. yeah, before we like lose all the viewers because they're like, oh, see these fucking women. They could talk for days.
2-hour mark. It's a good stepping spot.
Yeah, I think that's a good spot. Well, thank you for tuning in, everyone, and also, this has been such a fun conversation. I can't wait for more. I can't wait for more. I hope that everyone who has happened to stumble across this and if you got it this far, like, you are a badass, I swear to God. Like, you have capacity so that I need to borrow some of. Because it's one thing talking, it's another thing listening. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope that you have got out of this, even if it's just one little thing that has reassured you. And we hope to see you in the next one.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, I'm gonna stop the